ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your host, 2/3 Andre C. And right over here, it's the Irish princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I am doing great, Andre. I am frustrated with my gym, but we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. We're at a point. They were painting today, Andre.
Well, that
Painting.
means that's some of the last shit. It's painting and then maybe finishing trim. That's all they got left.
Yep. They were projecting end of month completion, but it looks like they might actually be finishing next week. Which makes me happy because they had no cable machines available for me today. And when I had intention of doing a back day, kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I made it
Dude,
work. I
yeah,
used the
back.
big boy machines when I could find them in the corner downstairs. They were covered in dust, but you know, we made it work.
I guess nobody uses those, eh?
Well, I mean, it was close to the construction area and the painting area, so they might have
Hmm.
thought that it might have not been like used. And I think that the dust might have actually been like the drywall shit. They were sanding, getting prep work and stuff ready. I don't know. I don't care. I have enough alcohol wipes to wipe it down. I was happy. I got my back done. Felt good. The dip machine was actually not out of order today. That worked out for me really nicely, so I got to use that. It's also an assisted pull-up machine, so this compensated for the fact I couldn't do pull downs.
Oh, it's the thing that you like grab on and like you put your knees on or whatever, and
Yeah, there's an option. You can have the little thingy-majiggy up, or you can put it down if you don't need the weight to help.
because the dip you
My
can hold on
shoulder's
the side.
still a little janky.
You can
Yeah,
hold on the side and do the dips, right? And if you want it, if you
yes.
need assisted with the pull ups, you can use the thing to help you.
Yeah, there's three different ways to hold for the pull-ups. There's the wide grip, there's the close together grip, and then there's the one that kind of looks like an L, so you could do this way.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
learning about working out on a wrestling show. Sweet.
Hey, I mean, hypothetically speaking, two and two go together.
If you're good, yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Yes,
Hey,
it does.
even a Bronson Reed, aka Jonah, even those guys, they still like that dude's got to do cardio
Oh,
at least because
$100%.
that dude cannot move how he moves without cardio, man. So,
He's a thick guy, but you can see the muscle. You can
oh yeah,
definitely see that underlying powerlifting-esque muscle. He's very Jeff Cobb.
well, same with like a Fale, anything like that. You need like bigger dudes, but they work out, man. They're,
They
they
do.
they do.
They got the strongest legs imaginable, let me tell you. But we're not here to talk about working out. We're not here to talk about, although we could talk about how it is supposed to be connected to wrestling. We want to talk about some power struggle. No, we don't. We want to talk about fighting spirit.
Yeah,
Power
Fighting
struggle's
Spirit
Mustang.
Unleashed. Fighting Spirit Unleashed from just outside our boy Old Ed's haunt in Lowell, Massachusetts. He did not
Wow.
go to the he Lao 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 Lao
No.
Lao. He did not go to this show, even though he was planning to. He didn't end up going, but
Rude.
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk. Before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in here. Any of y'all that are still here after all of our ridiculous talk for the first 4 minutes. Thank you so very much for joining us here. If you are listening on A
Oh.
Plus Productions, thank you so very much for joining us in audio form. You can find all of their audio of this show, aplusproductions.com. You have the A Plus Wrestling feed, the A Plus Entertainment feed, and the A Plus Sports feed. So check that out over there and join the Facebook page to just get in, hanging out with some new people. All the new Blue Sky socials are now up over there. If you want to get the information for them for Blue Sky, you can check that out there. Um, and then if you are watching us on the YouTube, whether it's Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, whether it's a backbreaker video, thank you so very, very much. We do appreciate y'all for joining us here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Don't forget to share us out to your friends, family, and just the spooky little monsters that exist in this world. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Nom 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 nom.
Cookie Monster over there?
It's Cookie Monster.
Oh, goodness. He is for cookie.
All right, let's get into this. Let's talk the Fighting Spirit Unleashed show, which my notes are labeled under the name of next month's show. Strong Style Evolved. For some reason, I changed Style Evolved, and I went looking for the notes today. I'm like, what the hell? Where are my notes? And then I saw Strong Style. I'm like, wait, I haven't done notes for that note. And then I'm like, damn it.
Yes, I did.
So we kicked it off. Pre-show match was a Strong Survivor match. The Strong Survivor, Matt Vandagriff, no longer the aerial chemist, taking on Seabass Finn. Man, Seabass Finn's got a hell of a forehead. I'll say that right now. As a man who has a big ass 5 head, he's got a big old forehead.
Did you say aerial chemist? It was aerial alchemist.
Oh, alchemist. I thought it was aerial chemist. Oh, okay.
No.
I see. You learn something new every single day. Like, I feel dumb now, but thanks.
Jimmy's not the only
Mel.
Scoops McGee.
Thanks for making me feel great, Mel. Just
what do you mean feel great? I corrected something that you said wrong. Would you rather me have just let you go on with it?
Yes.
Feel silly after it?
Yes.
No.
I do like the evolution of Matt Vandagriff, but I missed the entrance gear. Like I missed the hat and the jacket. I do miss that. But really good match here. Like really technical early on. A spot where Matt gets Seabass over and pulls him through the ropes in the corner and hops up and drops double knees into the back. Oh, that was cool. Seabass gets that beautiful belly-to-belly suplex to Matt Vandagriff off the top rope. Looked phenomenal. He's fired up with those big uppercuts and hits that hip attack in the corner. And then he does if anybody's watched what's the Killer Cross or whatever the Cross dude from WWE.
Okay.
He grabs somebody's arm or no, not him. It's Devlin or whatever. JD McDonough grabs the hand, pulls the guy up, and catches him and hits the backdrop suplex.
Oh yeah.
Seabass does the same thing where he grabs the wrist, pulls him up, catches him, and hits him with a German. That looked phenomenal, man.
Very unique style. Yeah.
Yeah. Cross did it too. He did the same move but it was a Saito suplex instead of the backdrop suplex. The Saito suplex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cross did it, pull up into the Saito suplex. But yeah, just that pull up into the German looks so smooth, man. I love that. So the end of this match stops a fisherman suplex, goes for a spin kick, but Seabass catches it, spins it around into like a leg trap brain buster. He only gets 2. I think it's very similar to Xena's leg trap move over there in Stardom, the Thunderstruck. So he fires up, he pulls the straps down, and according to Walker Stewart, like his idol Kurt Angler, because he's Seabass, he called him his idol Kurt Angler.
I did hear that. And I was like, at first I thought, I was like, is it a joke? Did he legitimately say the name? It took me longer than it should have to catch on to that joke. But man, when I got it, I had a good laugh.
They're making a bunch of fish jokes on commentary throughout
They
this
were.
match.
I loved Veda and Walker for it.
Oh, that was so good. He pulls the strap down. He goes for a fisherman suplex, but Matt slips out, hits the spin kick, follows it with Bloody Sunday for the win. Before we get to the post match, what did you think about the match? Like, it was cool. It was nice seeing
I loved it. This was my first time seeing Seabass Finn. When he first came in, I was like, who is this? So confused. Yeah, but then he started off with Vandagriff, and I was like, oh, okay. I really like the unique styles that both of these guys had, and it was a great opportunity to kind of show them off. There was one point where like Seabass is jumping off the ropes, like not even jumping, like just kind of rebounding off of them, and he kind of does that weird little rebound where he like rebounds off his traps. You know what I'm talking about? Did
Mm-hmm.
that a few times in the match. I don't really see a whole ton of people do that. I think I've seen it once before, but it's like I couldn't tell you who I saw it do it. It's that rare, and I watched that much shit. Um, but it was really, really cool to see these two kind of combining the styles together. We do typically see a more aerial kind of style out of Vandagriff. He was actually suspiciously grounded this match, in my opinion, in comparison to what he usually does, but it
Mm-hmm.
didn't take away from his ability to perform because this match was phenomenal. And he
Mm-hmm.
picked up a very dominant win over Seabass Finn. Um, I'm digging the heel work of Matt Vandagriff also.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this kind of, I don't want to say it's like a slow burn evolution of it, but it's certainly in the NJPW kind of thing. Just shows are a little few and far between. So we do have a good amount of time for him to kind of build up the character. I think we saw an absence of entrance gear because I think we're waiting for it. I think we're
Mm.
waiting for it based on what happened post-match. So take us into the post-match. With that
I,
also,
yeah. Quick update though. Seabass Finn actually coming out of our boy old Ed's neck of the woods from the New England Pro Wrestling Academy actually has worked at Chaotic Wrestling that we know Ed goes and watches. So yeah.
oh, Edge, you should have been cheering on your boy.
Damn it, Ed. Damn it, Ed. We move on though. Oh no, I don't want
Oh
to move
wait, we
on
have
yet.
to talk about post. Yeah.
Post match, yes. He gets the mic, says it's easy work. Is this the best they could give me and stuff? Want to be He's a one. Seabass want to be wrestler, just like the rest of them. He's a disappointment to his family. His family's disappointed in him, and it's just like, oh my god. He says he's been busting his ass. He's 7-0, undefeated for 13 months here in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's beaten everyone, and Zane J shows up, and he's like, even this guy. And Zane J takes the mics. He calls him the man. He's like, you're the man. You're the strong survivor. He's like, but you beat me a long time ago. I went to Japan, shaved my head, and I'm a new animal. I've been to Japan, and this is my heart. And he's talking about the logo, what it means. He says, I want another opportunity. I want another shot. It was just like, it started because he's had that kind of white rapper gimmick almost going on early on. So it
Yeah.
started the way you were saying it. I'm like, oh, is he going to start flowing like Eminem here? One shot,
I was
one
starting to feel the
opportunity.
same thing. Yeah, I was like, "Oh no. You just got rid of the cornrows, my dude. Let's not revert back." I'm very happy he didn't.
Yeah. So Matt gets some mic passes. You want another shot? Rocky and Rosser and Rocky were so embarrassed by your beating in Chicago. That's why they sent you to Japan. I laughed
I
so hard
forgot
at
he
that.
said that, yeah.
And he's like, you got the match. Get out of my ring, bitch. And then as he goes to leave, Matt attacks him, knocks him to the floor, hits a backdrop onto the apron, back in the ring. He hits Bloody Sunday, and this is where he poses over Zane J.
I'm telling you. Do I think that Sonata leaving Just Five Guys was a good idea? Yes. Do I think Bullet Club was a good idea? Yes. Do I think War Dogs was the best place for him? No. I think he should have went to House of Torture. I think Matt Vandagriff should have been the next Bullet Club War Dog. He is definitely a strong brand, which I think works with Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd he's a strong champion. He's gonna be here a while. Hypothetically speaking, being that
We'll
he
talk about it.
retains his title tonight. So yeah, I think that Matt Vandagriff, his heel work has been going very, very well. This was a very good promo from both of these guys. I felt that they had a really believable banter back and forth because sometimes you can get these people who are very obviously reading off a script. They just don't have that ability. I hate to say it, Natalia Neidhart is one of them. She just doesn't have that ability to portray realism when she's cutting a promo. Matt Vandagriff does not have that problem. He is very, very good. And same with Zane also. had very, very good flow together. They played off each other. None of the stuff sounded cringe. All of the verbiage that they used was very appropriate. It was quick. It was to the point. They said what they needed to do. Local guys take some lessons. It was great.
Can we comment on the fact that pictures in New Japan Pro Wrestling don't suit a lot of people? In Mr. Seabass Finn here, not the best
Yeah,
photo.
I mean, it's kind of what NJPW does. I mean, Vandagriff looks great.
I feel that Vandagriff is a cross between Chase Owens and El Phantasmo.
God damn it! Now I can't unsee that.
I knew I could ruin
He's
him for you.
right. God damn it! He's so cute though.
I don't know what to tell
He's
you.
got a Halloween tattoo. That
What?
that. What do you mean?
I don't know what that tattoo
It's
is.
not like it's a bad Halloween. Halloween, like
Right here?
Halloween themed. No, no, no. Like this is Halloween. This is Halloween. He's got a
Oh,
jack-o'-lantern tattooed on his arm. I don't know. I assume it's Halloween.
that's cool.
Yeah, tattoos
Cool.
are cool.
We move on to the main card. David Finlay versus Kevin Knight to kick it off.
Real quick, in between these two matches, the intro and this matchy match, there was a really cool promo. Touching tips, swinging hips.
No, I'm sitting on my hips. I mean, I have no
You
championship.
can still swing them.
I'm sitting
Anyway,
on my hips and I got no championships.
mine are downstairs. There was a promo that they showed us from TJP, a very theatrical kind of promo. But what I liked about this theatrical promo is that there was still a voiceover. I like those kinds of theatrical promos. I like theatrical promos, but like, give us something, proof that you can talk. And TJP did this. I thought it was a really good promo. It was very honest. It was very passionate. It was very to the point, and it was very very much setting up for his match tonight with Konosuke Takeshita.
Mel's
Now
favorite.
we can talk about this.
So Knight drop kicks Finlay off the apron during his entrance, hits a punch to the floor. They end up going back inside, and Knight sends Finlay back outside and hits a tope con hilo to the floor. Go back inside and hits a huge drop kick for 2. They end up fighting the outside again. Finlay running him into the barricade and stuff, shoving him over the barricade. Finlay getting some in control there. A little bit later in the match, Knight goes for that pendulum DDT, but it gets stopped with Finlay throwing Knight over the top rope. It looked like a great spot. Finlay then spits at the crowd. Knight does avoid getting tossed into the post, and then hops over Finlay, who goes crashing into the barricade. Knight then and he goes that runs around the across the aisle area, jumps up onto the apron and jumps off into the drop kick, sending Finlay back in the barricade. Love that spot.
So good. So good. I'm telling you, just like Walker is, it's in the shoes. Take his sparkle shoes.
Sure, it's not in the insane muscles in his legs. It's in his shoes. Sure.
I mean, sparkle boots. Let's ask Shiki about how those really impact your ability to move. I'm just saying.
You can't hop
Just
like
saying.
no Kevin Knight, man. So the end
He
toward
do a pretty good European uppercut from the center of the ring still. That's
it's
Hopsy.
it's still not Kevin Knight Hopsy.
It's
Yeah,
not, but it's Hopsy.
yeah. The match it comes to the end with Knight reversing a power bomb, scores a couple roll ups. Finlay with hard strikes, but Knight hits the sky high and for 2. Then following with a tornado DDT for 2. He goes for the pendulum DDT, but Finlay tosses him off, then hits him with the buckle bomb, and then a stacked power bomb for 2, and then follows it up eventually with the overkill for the win.
Follows up eventually. I love it.
Well, he'll do it, and then he'll stand up, do his jaw into the crowd, then go for the finish.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny too because he doesn't have to work for the booze in Japan at all. The crowd hates Bullet Club over there. They boo the ever living hell out of them nonstop. North America, though, we're kind of sadists here. We like the heels. We like the bad guys. So the crowd, I felt a distinct, like the crowd popped for Kevin Knight, but they were like, they weren't cheering and they weren't booing Finlay either. There were people clapping. Like it was a weird dynamic for the crowd for me because you could tell they wanted to cheer Finlay, but they know they're not supposed to. And because look at what he does. He plays to the crowd irregardless of what's going on because it's just part of his thing now. And I love it. I love that crowd interaction, even if it is a heelish thing and it turns out to be him just yelling like fuck you in someone's face. It's a fun thing because now that person's like, David Finlay told me to fuck me. That's great. Like there's people who are gonna love it. It is what it is. I mean, I know I probably would. Like David Finlay talked to me. Oh. But yeah, the jump start at the beginning needed. I think Kevin Knight knew he needed to do that because it was either him or Bullet Club doing it. It was either him or Finlay. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to add on to this. This was a very vicious match. Kevin Knight did everything he could to just keep Finlay off his feet and stay out of dodge. And it just wasn't quite enough. Finlay is a very deceptively smart, deceptively strong, and deceptively quick wrestler. He has been someone that has been slept upon in this business, I think, for a little too long. He's had a little too much time to figure things out, and he has a very clear view on what it is that he wants to do, and he's going for it. And I'm kind of loving that he's plowing anybody in front of him over while he's doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Because I
This
think
was
like
fun.
Finlay doesn't need to win a world title. He is making the global title just as relevant as the world title. And he's doing
Yeah.
a great job of it in how he's presenting
Mhm.
himself, how he's carrying the title and everything. So, like, I'm loving
Yeah,
this title reign from David Finlay. This whole year from Finlay has been
100%.
just fire.
Well,
Yeah.
like we were saying, we kind of considered Finlay our champion when Moxley was the IWGP champion, and even when Naito was the champion, because both of them, I mean, Moxley wasn't even there, so he couldn't be doing anything with the title. But then Naito, when Naito had it, it was kind of like lackluster also. He was making his title more exciting with his banter, with his faction, with his attitude, with the stuff that he does on social media. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was making himself his and everything around him relevant while other people were just expecting the championship to make the people relevant.
A good wrestler elevates the title. Doesn't use a title. It doesn't use a title to elevate them. And Finley's doing it for the global title. Zack Sabre Jr. Well, it's a crowning achievement for him to win that title. He
Yeah, yeah.
makes that title better by being as good as he is. He makes that
Well,
title
and
that
look
much
what
more
he's
prestigious.
done. Look what he's done already with the title, and he hasn't even had it that long, and he's already had far more exciting matches consistently than any other champion that we've had holding that title this year.
He's had that title just a month now, and he
Mhm,
has had the win, the Royal Quest defense, the Power
mhm.
Struggle defense, uh, and he's going into another it's yeah. Again, two
He's
guys who
working hard to elevate that title again, and I think that Zack Sabre Jr. going into the new year with that title is going to do amazing things next
yeah,
year for New Japan and its exposure.
two guys that elevate the title and
Mhm.
to make the title mean more by working as hard as they do to make it better through them.
Agreed.
So I'd love it. We move on.
Mhm.
Tag team title match for the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. It is the now just single title holders, TMDK's Mikey, Nicholls, and Shane Haste, defending against the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zack Gibson. Gibson's and Haste. What?
No, 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 no. Can we just real quick? We need to talk about the pictures.
What do you mean? Still
The
better than Seabass.
the bald one looks like a falcon. doing a dive in my face.
Okay.
The other one looks like a gecko with hair. What the fuck? New Japan! There's better ways to look aggressive without having us see what the bald one has had for lunch.
Yeah,
And
true.
that the other one is apparently a British Gene Simmons. And then you've got TMDK. And this is actually the tamest I ever seen Shane Haste look in any of his promo pictures. But gosh, does that just not look like the most solid tag team you ever seen?
Yeah, they really do, to somebody who cares, like you and me. Let's talk about this. Gibson and Hayes really good early on together, working really well. So Hayes getting that snap mare into the drop to the back of the neck. Again, he tags in Nicholls, and they do the wishbone. They snap the wishbone on Gibson, just snapping the legs apart. James Drake's in at one point, and he hits this really nice looking bulldog. I had to point that out. It just looked really good the way he was running, the way he jumped with it and brought him down. It was almost headlock style bulldog. I really liked it. I thought it looked really good. GYV working over Haste, and he eventually fights back, gets a suplex to Gibson, drop kick to Drake, tags out, and sort of Nicholls in, running wild, knocking everybody over, sends Gibson out and hits a sliding lariat to Drake for 2. Towards the end of this match, GYV are attacking Haste. They go for the Doomsday device. It gets stopped. Drake it gets hit with a power bottom, and TMDK ends up hitting the tank buster on Gibson. They only get 2. They go for the super tank buster, but it is stopped, and it gets stopped. In the end, Drake they send Nicholls out, and Drake gets the towel and grabs him by the head and whips him down to the mat, kind of stunning him. And then they both
whiplash there,
yeah, and the towel whiplash, as I wrote. And they get in, they hit Annihilation, or for you ECW faithful, the total elimination for the win, and we have new strong openweight tag team championships. I'm happy for JYV. They're a great tag team. Well, what the hell, New Japan? Why are you booking my boys into losing?
Just real quick before we get too far away, I don't know what either of those were. So for the people who are like me and who don't know what that finish is, can you describe it?
Okay, so one hits a spin kick to the head while the other one sweeps the legs out. Well, one's kicking the head, the other one's sweeping the legs out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was originally in the ECW, it's called the Total Elimination. Can't remember who hit it, but it's called Total Elimination, and yeah, it's called Annihilation.
Sounds like an RVD. Sounds like an RVD if there's a kick. Anyway, while you're fact searching, the
Eliminator. They were known as the Eliminators. That's all I know. And known as also High Low in WWE. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, see, if you said that, I'd know that. I know the High Low on that.
There you go.
Anyway, New Japan. What the flying fudge muffins is this? Yeah, there's the IWGP titles one week, the strong titles the next. What'd they do? They're sorry. On behalf of fans everywhere, they're sorry. Can we fix this? Here's the thing. We know that we're going to be going into World Tag League, so we know that we're going to be getting a Haste. What in the hell was I trying to say there? Haste? And I combined Nicholls and Haste. Naste. Nastles? Lord have mercy.
Just like the natural, you know.
Oh my god. Okay. So anyway, my rant. So we know that they've lost both titles now. We know that they're going into the World Tag League. This kind of gives me hope because we know that Zack Sabre Jr. kind of likes his permanency in New Japan. New Japan is kind of his beacon, his focal point, his prime directive, if you will. And we know that TMDK also is Zack Sabre Jr.'s Prime Directive. We know that Mikey Nicholls lives in Australia. We know that Shane Haste lives on the west coast of the United States, I believe, California. Both can travel easily, which is merciful. Some of the tours can be a little shorter, a little longer. It depends. I guess selfishly, this means that we get to see our TMDK boys happily where they selfishly they belong in New Japan, because we know that they're going to be hypothetically utilized properly. Here's the thing. They have phenomenal matches. We've said this before. This is the team that you put into the title match when you want a banger of a match. But for whatever reason, it has been not necessarily if you want them to win the titles or not. You just want to really put over your champions. These guys can do it, and they seem to happily do it. And I love it because they put on 110,000% shows every single time. So selfishly, again, this means that we get our TMDK boys, because that tells me that Robbie Eagles isn't going anywhere. Obviously, Kosei Fujita is not going anywhere. And it tells me that we might be able to get big dates potentially over in Japan as well, which I would love. This also tells me that they're also trying to rebuild the New Japan Strong Tag Division, which after having to kind of go through the same kind of 3 or 4 tag teams over the last couple of years, I'm kind of ready for it. Do I like that they lost the titles? No. Do I like the potential implications, being that it's booked properly, Gato and Rocky? In nomine Dei Padre, and Filii, and Spiritus Sanctus. Please bless this, wrestling gods, and let this work out for New Japan in the long run, because I feel like it's only a matter of time before there's gold back on TMDK.
Yeah. There's a gentleman on Twitter you sent me predicting Wrestle Kingdom's outlook of a very golden
Syrian, yeah.
by the end. Yeah, I agree with that, man.
I bet you do. That's why I sent it to you. I was like, you should follow this guy. You and him could be besties.
Yeah, I think I should follow him.
I think you should too.
We move on. Mustafa Ali versus the Blackheart Lio Rush tonight. We get Blackheart, the Venom, the man with the Venom all over him and everything.
Real quick too, the promos these guys put out before. Damn! I am loving the promo culture coming back in wrestling. I am loving it. I am loving it. Did I say I was loving it? I am freaking loving it.
She's loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I want a burger now.
Not what I expect you to say. Yeah, these two just going solid early, flipping around the strikes. Ali hits a somersault through the ropes into a neck breaker. Looked really good. We saw him hit that live earlier this year. Lio goes for his rush hour, or is it rush hour? Yeah, rush hour. That springboard off the bottom rope into the stunner, but. Dude, Ali drop kicks him in the back of the neck to stop it. So good.
Yeah, the timing too. Mm-hmm. It was so perfect. It was just so, everything that needed to be in place was in place. It was perfection.
Yeah. Lio hits a heel kick to Lio on the apron, setting him to the floor, and Lio hits a low pay, then goes in, hits a couple extra runs, then hits another low pay. As he goes to get back in to go for a third, Ali sweeps out his legs, spins him around, and hits the apron hung DDT onto the floor. Looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. These two flowed effortlessly into each move that they did. It was so cool. But there was also this little chaos in between it that I'll talk about when you're done.
Yeah. And there's more hard strikes in the ring. Lio goes for that. Lio reverses that somersault neck breaker into a beautiful looking powerbomb for 2. Lio gets Ali up on the top rope, but Ali slips out and hits this running power bomb, literally spiking Lio on his head. I was
Yeah.
like worried for the man. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
oh.
that looked a little rough. Yeah.
I called it a powerbomb pile driver.
I mean, yeah, that probably would have been what I would have described it as. Yeah.
A power driver. It's a power driver.
Hey, there you go.
Ali goes up, but he misses a 450, and Lio goes up for final hour to the back, then goes up for the final hour high fly flow, or sorry, the final hour aces high for the win.
Yes. This made me happy.
Mm.
I felt like he not that he needed this one, but I needed it as a fan. I needed it. But these two, oh, okay. The chaos that I was mentioning, the story, kind of sort of came for me in a visual way from Ali and the paint. You notice as the match went on, more like obviously the paint, there's going to be paint transfer. Like the second that Lio took a backdrop, there was just black all over the ring. And I was just like, hey. But as Ali got more and more covered in paint, when he would take these moments in between moves and pin attempts and stuff, he would start acknowledging that he's covered in this paint. And it started to become a frustration to him the more he started to see it. And it almost kind of enraged him and put him into this heightened emotional state that we know in professional wrestling is a very detrimental thing to have because you're either going to end up turning that into a powerful dominant win or your enemy is going to use that against you and it's going to cost you the match. And that's what ended up happening in this situation. Lio just kept picking and picking and picking at him. He kept getting back up. And eventually he was able to pin the unpinnable and Mustafa Ali. I love this match. This was great. This was like a high speed 205. I know I hate using that term. I like to use high speed. It's a high speed match. This was a junior match worthy of best of the Super Junior final levels. It was so good, so quick. I loved it. I loved also, just to throw out there, the paint that Lio did do, even though it did get pretty rubbed off pretty quick. I love the uniqueness of it because he can do it different every single time he comes out, and it doesn't matter if he's wearing the same gear or not. He can just do the body paint differently. And I like these little evolutions of him because you never know which Lio you're gonna get. It's kind of like a randomizer. Whenever Leo's about to come out, there's like some kind of Rolodex going in the bag, and it's just like, we stop on this Lio. You get Venom Gothic Lio today. Yay! It was great.
Well, yeah, it was the same thing for Finn Balor when he was in New Japan. It was like
Exactly.
big match Devitt would always have these different like looks and paint looks, and some were really elaborate. Some was just made his whole head head in half, top half of his chest just black with like, white outlines. Again, he had
Yeah.
all these different great looks, and I feel like Lio carries that forward.
I agree. I agree. And especially in a time that we haven't had that. Because there's been a very large lull time in between the last time that we saw someone do body paint like that with Finn Balor. I couldn't tell you the last time I've really seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw a little bit with it with oh, who was it? They're escaping me now. Liger. That was it. We saw it with Kushin Liger when he made his return. But like I haven't seen anything kind of like that since, you know? And I appreciate that he does it because again, it does give us something exciting to look forward to because now not only when I'm seeing like a Lio Rush match, not only am I getting excited that I'm seeing a Lio Rush match, but it's like which variation of him am I going to get because I don't know what kind of match we're going to get because he subtly changes the things that he does in the ring to match whatever character he is in that moment. It's fascinating.
Yeah. We move on. 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh,
West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jorel Nelson, and our boy Royce Isaacs taking on Dirty Work, Fred Rosser, and my boy Tom Lawlor.
He had fringe on his panties. Did you see his panties? His Daisy Dukes. I'm sorry, Mr. Lawlor. Don't hurt me.
hurt her. So
No.
the first fall is a tables match. The second fall is a submission match, and the last fall is an elimination last man standing strap match. We learned this that it's an elimination match. We learned that towards the end of that match. So we start out with a tables match. They're brawling around. Everybody's going trying to use tables. Everybody's fighting. Rosser takes Nelson around to the entranceway where the table's set up, puts him on the table, and Lawlor dives off the stage onto Nelson to put him through the table for the first fall. So we then go into a submission match, and that I really liked that they really got into the work rate here. Everybody really working well, and again, they did it. All three of these matches were done in the tornado tag style. Nobody had to tag in. It was everybody just fighting and brawling, and it was great. And it made it much clearer for the pin breakups, everything like that. A lot of working on the ring. Lawlor and Ross are really working for their submissions, the chicken wing and the choke. Isaac's getting a clover leaf at one point while Nelson has a crossface on him, but Lawlor jumping onto them to break it up. They had a double submission on, they got a double submission on Rosser at one point too, I think.
Was this when he started bleeding?
No, he doesn't start bleeding till the next fall. Or maybe he did. It might have been. I don't remember when he started bleeding, but I didn't like.
He started bleeding in the second one, the second fall. The third fall was kind of, but I feel like he was bleeding during the second fall. I didn't write it down.
Oh yeah, because Rosser just starts laying in these like hard elbows to Isaac's doing these hard elbows to Rosser and just cracks him open. It looked gross. In the end, yeah. Lawlor gets the Kimura suplex off the top to Nelson. Rosser comes in with a chicken wing, but it gets reversed into a rear naked choke. And Lawlor tries to stop the arm from falling, but Jorel Nelson takes him out, and Rosser does go unconscious. So we are all tied up at once. We go into the last man standing strap match, and they start to lash everybody together. But then West Coast Wrecking Crew just start attacking because Rosser's pretty hurt, and they're beating the hell out of each other. The third match hasn't started yet, so they're just fighting. Lots of brawling on the floor. Lawlor fights up the pile driver, whips Nelson into Isaacs. Rosser into attack and taking out West Coast Wrecking Crew. This is where he finally puts the cuff on. They start the match. And again, it's lots of people using the straps, everybody beating the living piss out of each other.
One of them actually not get the strap on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were brawling for the first couple of minutes with Rosser didn't have the strap
with one of them out of it.
Yeah, so it didn't start until Rosser did eventually put the strap on the wrist. And they're just all whipping each other here. It's just lots of crazy. Lots of choke. There's a four-way choking spot where Nelson's being hung with Lawlor being choked by Isaacs in the ring, who's being choked by Rosser in the ring, and it's just like all choked each other with the straps. It's just insanity. So let's get to the end of this. Nelson hits Lawlor with a cutter off the apron through a table on the floor. The ref counts Tom Lawlor out. So it is now a 2-on-1 handicap match. So the West Coast Wrecking Crew start attacking Rosser. He grabs Isaac's junk and runs it into he grabbed him low and ran him into the corner. But Nelson hits him with a chair. West Coast Wrecking Crew hit the assisted pile driver. And Rosser is counted out at 10, and West Coast Wrecking Crew are your winners.
I mean, after Rosser started bleeding, it was like, we should wrap this up, boys. We should really wrap this up, boys. Why aren't we wrapping this up, boys? could we wrap this up, boys? It felt a little too lengthy for the amount of bleeding that there was. And like then leaving him in there injured already, bleeding profusely. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Of course he's gonna start getting dozy, not know what he's doing, where he's grabbing. Like this was kind of chaotic for me, I'm not gonna lie. I was fine with it until Rosser started bleeding.
Yeah, me too.
And you know, it could have been worse. I've definitely seen worser, especially with New Japan, Jun Kasu.
Whoa,
But
watch the Taiji Ishimori show from today.
I don't want to.
I'm going to.
I've seen clips.
We're gonna
I
talk about it
know
on
we
Friday.
have to, but I don't want to.
Do it.
Yeah, it's just if it's your thing, it's your thing, and power to you for getting through it. It's not a vibe for me. If you get hurt, you get hurt. It's an unavoidable thing in professional wrestling. But like sometimes these hardcore things, they get a little rough for me. Once Rosser started bleeding, I was kind of like, ugh. I didn't really want to keep watching, but it did, and I want a cookie for it. Take us into the aftermath, though.
So the West Coast Wrecking Crew do call out JYV, the new strong tag team champions. They say this ring belongs to them. The mic then goes dead. He gets a new one. He calls out New Japan for giving him a dead mic and cutting their mic. He says those tag titles mean everything to us, and they challenge JYV for the tag team championships on December 15th at Strong Style Evolve.
Again, this loops back to what I said. I'm excited.
Mhm.
I'm excited for this because we're seeing an evolution in the tag division, which we have been begging for the better part of a year. I'm excited that we're finally getting it. I hate that it was at the expense of TMDK losing the titles, but I'm gonna be here for it
Hmm?
because we're gonna
Me
get
too.
some new matches. Because I like Fred Rosser and Tom Lawlor. I like Royce Isaacs and Jorel Nelson. Kind of sick of seeing them face each other. They've kind of become the Bishamon kind of thing for me.
The
Give me
Sheik
something
Akbar
else.
Shabazz and Richie Rage of New Japan Strong.
Oh, not that bad.
I watched that match almost every show for 2 years.
And this was only one.
I watched the Sheik versus Richie for almost 2 straight years.
I
I'm
know,
good.
but we've been seeing Rosser and Lawlor versus Isaacs and Nelson's Isaacs and Nelson, plural and singular. We've been watching them do this kind of back and forth thing for the better part of a year too, though.
Oh, I agree. I'm
You
ready for
know,
this end
we're
too.
good.
Don't get me wrong.
We're
I'm ready
done.
for it to be over. So we
Yeah.
then get a promo from Mercedes Monet talking about how she'll be facing the winner of the following match at
Yeah.
Strong Style Evolve and what it means to step up and champion. So we get into that match. We talk. It's a 4-way New Japan Strong Women's Championship 4-way number 1 contenders match. It is Anna Jay versus Hazuki versus Koguma versus Trish Adora. Man, my first note is this match is going to be epic, and I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I thought everybody did so well. Koguma doing the bear thing at the start.
Koguma.
She gets Trish and Anna to do it with her, and they're circling around Hazuki, and Hazuki just like drops down and like into a ball.
She kept doing this to them, like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And telling
And
to
then
the crowd, don't encourage her, and then just no.
yeah. So and then everyone attacks her. Again, a lot of good back and forth in here. Anna gets all 3 ladies into the corner, hits her spinning leg Larry into the corner. She gets Suki up top, hits a spin kick to her on the top, and then there's like the cross arm whip off the top for a 2 count.
Yeah.
Adora gets an air raid submission on I think it was on Hazuki or on Anna Jay. It's called Fubar. Then she follows it up with a boss woman backbreaker, or like the black hole slam into a backbreaker.
Yeah. Ooh, that looks nasty.
Koguma hits a splash to break the pin. Then Hazuki comes off the top, hitting Koguma to break up her pin on Trish Adora there. Hazuki and Koguma trading these hard, stiff strikes at center. Hazuki hits the bicycle kick, but Koguma comes back with a running cutter. Adora comes into lariat them and tosses Koguma onto the apron. Hazuki runs into them, sending Koguma onto Anna J on the outside. Hazuki rolls her for 2. And Adora then comes back and hits an air raid crash neck breaker for a 2. Looked really good. Hazuki fires back. He starts throwing these aggressive elbows, taking Trish Adora to the mat and just continually just going in on her. It's pulled off, and this is where Trish Adora comes back with a release German, and they're bridging German for 2. She goes for another move, but Hazuki catches her in a magistral cradle for the win.
Yes. This was so much fun. I love the character work that both Hazuki and Koguma did in this one because they knew they kind of were going in with a bit of a language barrier. It didn't stop them from wrestling the same amazing way that they do in Japan, where they just were able to portray their emotions through their wrestling, which I absolutely loved, with that playfulness at the beginning, where Hazuki was just like, oh, no, like it was very much Koguma picking on Hazuki a little bit. I love seeing this evolution of Anna Jay. She was not my favorite when I first saw her in AEW. I didn't care
Nope.
that she was the chosen one or whatever. I was not a fan. The last few months, like last solid 4 or 5 months, have just been like this insane evolution of this character in person in the ring. Japan did great for her. I'd like to see her promos get a little bit better. Because like she's got to a point where her verbiage is perfect, where what she's saying is great and how she's saying it is believable. I need the deer in the headlight look to go away. This is not intimidating. But otherwise, phenomenal, phenomenal evolution for her. Been loving what I've been seeing with her. Trish Adora has been a favorite of mine for a little bit. I love there's this unique style she has. The just how over she is with the crowd. Her energy is just boundless. Her gear is perfection. Her look is unique. I love watching her wrestle because she's one of those people who knows how to elevate her opponent as much as herself in her matches, and that's something I'm missing a lot in professional wrestling. Hazuki, though, let's talk about that savagery and that nature that has been coming out of her lately, coming out again in this one against Adora, where we have been seeing these pockets of like I'm gonna say like this unhinged kind of feral nature where she's just coming out and she is angry. I think we're starting to see a not a reversion, but like a running back to the heel Hazuki. And to be honest, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see
Me
it
too.
because I'm starting to feel that she very much is the black sheep of stars right now. There are tendencies coming out in Mayu and Hanan and sometimes in Koguma, but Hazuki I think is further gone than the rest of them in measurement in that. And I need to see the dark Hazuki, I think, take on Mercedes Monet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can go for that. Again, post match, the affirmation Mercedes Monet makes her way out. Monet tells her that December 15th in Long Beach, she would be going up against the greatest of all time. Hazuki does come back saying that Strongbow will be hers, and they start brawling. But Monet hitting that backstabber, and she
Mhm,
does EO dance afterwards.
mhm. Took her a bit to spin her into that backbreaker, but she did get it.
Mm.
Um, I kind of at first I was like, oh, I was a little sarcastic. Not gonna lie. Like, oh, Mercedes gracing us peasants with her presence. How thoughtful.
Well,
But
it can't be New Japan in Massachusetts without the CEO. Her home.
I'm pretty sure that there's been shows there before without her. But yeah, once the sarcasm wore off, I was like, I'm excited for this. I'm happy to see because like Mercedes has been doing really like a lot of people aren't appreciating the work I think that she's doing on AEW. She's working very, very hard there. And I feel that she is adding a lot of credibility to both the titles that she is carrying because she takes them everywhere. Everywhere she goes, she's proud equally of both of those belts. And I feel like the character work that we've seen her doing on AEW, especially with Camille and the kind of like what am I trying to say? The kind of bodyguard mentality gimmick that they're playing there. I like what they're doing. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm hearing. I like the wrestling that I'm hearing about, and I'm hearing that she's wrestling pretty regularly. Not like every week regularly, but she's there every single week. And that's what I like to hear about a champion. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm interested to see because we know Hazuki is good at cutting promos, and we know Mercedes. I mean, I would argue in women's professional wrestling, I would actually say Mercedes is one of the best promo cutters for women's professional wrestling, just because she unquestionably, whether it's true or not, she believes what she's saying. And that's all you really need to do is convince me that you believe your own hype. And she does that. And we know Hazuki does that also, but we also know Hazuki is very good at going in for that jugular and saying some really nasty things at her promos. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the build for this if there's going to be one. Please, please let RJ, is that his name? RJ City? Put him on the case for this, please. Please. His competency in story building has been shown with Mariah May and Tony Storm. I don't know why you convinced him to drop her now. She needs him. That should be her guy. And I hear that he's also been working on the story with Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club. Is that what they are still?
Death Riders.
Oh, they're Death Riders now. Okay. Okay.
Oh, RJ City does not know how to book dudes because that program has not been good in my opinion.
Oh, really?
I found it very like all they've been doing is beating up mid carders, and it's just been like, okay, why do I care?
Well, that's what you do before you go for the big boys.
If you beat up Orange Cassidy, and now you're gonna face Orange Cassidy for the world title,
You like Orange Cassidy.
I do, but not in the world goddamn title. He's a
I mean,
TNT
agreed.
title level guy.
I agree.
He's not a world title, so I also am not very. I'm not been really interested in AEW lately, so that doesn't help me either.
I mean, my opinion on it is going to be lesser than yours because I don't even watch it. I just go based on what I'm hearing from other people who watch it, and they watch it because they like it. So, yeah. But getting back to it, we need RJ clearly booking the women's match then. We need him booking the story in this because that it was just so good.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to talk about this now because there was some stuff that I was just like, what's going on?
This is a really good match. Listen, Goblin, nobody's
Yeah.
have fun. Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji versus the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. I didn't take a lot of notes because I was sucked into this match. Kingdom,
Same.
they're attacking first as LAJ go to fist, as they go to do their fisting thing. It was time to fist, I guess.
Oh. Oh. Are you going to tell Dean Richter to start Canadians' affiliation of Los Ingobernables?
Los Goblin, de Canadian. I don't know.
Uh, Sure. I don't know how they say Canadian in Spanish.
Los Goblin, de Canada.
I don't think it's just Canada. I think it's Canadian or something like that.
Yeah,
Canadian scene. I
this is
don't
a
know.
great spot.
Anyway,
Bennett hits a spine buster to Tsuji. Taven goes in for the Lions up, but Tsuji getting the knees up looked really good there.
mm,
Takagi getting that fake out at one point into the dangerous driver Takagi to Bennett. I always love that move. There's a slingshot into a kick by the Kingdom from the ropes and a springboard elbow over the top with Tsuji on or Takagi on the knees, or Tsuji on the
oh
knees.
yeah,
That looks so
yeah.
good. They continue the double team, and Taven hits a beautiful shining wizard to the back of the head as Tsuji for 2. Later, the end of this match comes. Taven gets involved, attacking Takagi. Takagi lays him out with a pumping bomber, and Tsuji hits a massive gene blaster to Bennett for the win. Bennett folded like a goddamn
Lawn
folding
chair.
chair. Oh,
Yeah,
look so good, and
he
I
lawn
like
chaired. Yeah.
the win. Kingdom raises the hands of Lij after the match.
Did they though?
Yeah, or Taven did.
No.
Oh, they did.
Yes. Did you? This is what I wanted to talk about.
Hmm.
Afterwards, did you not notice the tension? Bennett goes to lift Tsuji's hand and Tsuji rips it away, backs to the rope, shaking his head.
Hmm.
There's tension there. And I don't know where it came from. Bennett noticed it right away. I don't know if you noticed how quickly they kind of pieced out at that point. But yeah, it bothered me. And Taven also noticed it and kind of moved Bennett out of it. I was wondering where it came from. Because the match went very smoothly from a fan's perspective. Maybe it didn't go quite as smoothly from the wrestler's perspective, but I found that odd, the behavior odd, because Tsuji was still smiling the way he smiles. But like I'm really recognizing based on when he smiles that we can't really tell if that means he's happy or not.
Well, Tsuji did let his arm get raised. It was
No,
Takagi,
by
didn't he?
Taven. By Taven.
Yeah,
Not by Bennett. He yanked his arm away from Bennett and backed up to the ropes and put his arms over the ropes.
Takagi did. Yeah.
No, Tsuji.
Huh. Missing. Okay.
Yota Tsuji, the smiler. I recognize the smile because Takagi still had his mouth guard in. No smile.
Hmm.
Takagi had his hand raised easily by Taven.
Yeah,
Tsuji got here from Bennett and went, nope.
yeah, because Taven raised Takagi's, but Bennett,
Yes.
yeah, because Tsuji pulled the arm. I thought for some reason in my head I had
I
Takagi
don't
pulling the arm
know.
away.
I was telling you it was Tsuji. How are we getting confused?
My brain it became Takagi in my brain. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I don't either. But yeah, I mean, great match. From a fan perspective, this match flowed perfectly. Looked really, really good. Maybe there was something that didn't go so well. I don't know. I enjoyed it. If there's no lingering tension, I'd actually like to see this run back. In fact, I'm confused as to why the Kingdom isn't considered for the World Tag League. Could switch out Bishamon and put them in there. Come on.
Yeah, screw Bishamon. So post match, Takagi does leave. Tsuji continues to celebrate in the ring. In a video, the lights go out. A video plays. Guy doing work on stuff. I guess like the hammer and anvil and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's Jack Perry's fixing the title thing that he was doing. He comes in, attacking Tsuji on the floor, gets him in the ring, hits the glass jaw knee. He then gets the promo and he says he's put it upside January 5th for Tsuji, and he challenges him for a match at Wrestle Dynasty. Perry goes to hit another glass jaw knee, but this Takagi returns, running him off, and the crowd chants, "You're a pussy."
They aren't wrong.
He's a member of House Torture, so he's obviously a pussy.
Yeah, it comes with the card. Like you get a card when you join House of Torture. Welcome to House of Torture. These are your honorary things. You're a pussy. Wear a goat head. Yeah. To be fair, though, again, to be fair to Jack Perry, we shit on him a little bit. But his time with House of Torture, debatably the best time that he's ever had in his career, because look at what you got sent back, AEW people. You got sent back this pissed off kid who suddenly found his charisma, suddenly found his voice hole, and could like actually say something without sounding cringy. Like, he's actually someone that I would take seriously in a higher championship level now, just because of how much he yaps, runs his mouth, and then backs it up. He could always back up his stuff. It was just, he wasn't a very well-rounded wrestler. He had 50% of what he needed to be successful, and now he went to Japan and found the other 50% in House of Torture. Don't know how that happened, but it works, and I'm actually excited for this match
Oh, yeah, it's
because
gonna be
we know
amazing.
that Perry's gonna come in like a little spider monkey, and Tsuji's just gonna be like a roof. A roof. He's just gonna be like, bounce off of me.
Yeah. So we move on. Kenta versus Ryohei Oiwa. This match was good, but I found it was a little short in my opinion. These two had a really good match. We're having a really good match, and it kind of just ended. Really fast start.
Yeah.
With Oiwa dominating. Kenta took back control. At one point in the match, Kenta hits a boot, then a tornado DDT over the rope, kind of like landing him throat first onto the rope. Then hits a lariat off the top, follows with two hesitation drop kicks in the corner, and a coup de grace off the top, but only gets two. Oiwa comes back with a huge lariat, hits a doctor bomb, only gets two. Kenta avoids the grip, but Oiwa reverses the GTS into a choke. Kenta gets out. They start trading pins, and Oiwa scores a small cradle, or inside cradle, sorry, a small package, whatever you want to call it, for the win. And Kenta's pissed after the match.
Well, yeah. Kenta got Kenta'd again.
Yeah, it seems
This
normal.
match infuriated me for that.
They
Because
weren't
it's
putting
like,
Kenta over.
what?
They weren't going to put Kenta over against Oiwa.
Why the flying? I know you're a big Oiwa fan, but why the fuck would they put Oiwa over?
Because Kenta's about to be the job. Kenta and Owens are about to be the job guys in the World Tag League, and Oiwa's going into a World Television title match at Wrestle Kingdom. That's why.
That he's gonna
Look,
lose.
I love Kenta. It's just he is a low man on the totem pole in this company, which is sad because he's a freaking legend. But he's a low man on the totem pole in this company for some weird ass reason.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it too. Are they still punishing him for leaving and going to be Hideo Itami? Because if that's the case, Kushida should not be tag team champion right now.
Yeah, but he
Kushida
didn't.
left after him and came back after him. He should still be in the Kenta fucking tunnel of being punished like Kenta. Kenta has been putting so many good frickin' matches on since coming back to New Japan, and he keeps getting cock blocked. And he is getting cock blocked. I don't understand it. The guy who does the booking is literally one of your frickin' managers on your frickin' team. How are you not getting booked into wins? And then to feel credible still, you have to leave us regularly so that we start to forget who the fuck you are, and you have to come to North America and start wrestling here again. It pisses me off that he has been the Defy champion for like how long was he the champion? Is he still the champion? I know he just had a title defense. I haven't seen if he won or lost.
I'm looking right now. Still champion.
So you had the Defy world champion lose to someone who's potentially in a TV championship match, which isn't even on a world title level. Bruh. No. That doesn't make sense. I love a Wiwa, and I thought this match was a great show-off match for both of these guys because we saw the viciousness of Kenta, especially at the beginning of this, but we also saw the technical education of Kenta that we know has always been there. But we also saw this power in a Wiwa and that intelligence in that technicality flow so well together with Kenta because he was able to counter Kenta's strikes with his power. This was a great match. And then it just, well,
Yeah, the ending was just out of nowhere, and I'm like, what the fuck?
it shit the bed on the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I found what Kenta did later in the night more exciting than this.
What did Kenta do later in the night?
There was stuff after the match.
Oh, yeah. Forget the main
Yeah,
event.
yeah, 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 Tamatanga over there.
Yeah, we move on. Tag team match: Shota Umino, Tomohiro Ishii versus TMDK's Bad Dude Tito, and Zack Sabre Jr. Big Teach is back.
Big Toots.
So okay. So early on, Tito and Ishii are in. They're just slamming into each other, and the crowd is loving every second. This crowd was so into Big Teats, baby. They were all
Yes.
there for the Teats. Tito ends up dropping Ishii. Ishii reverses a suplex into his own. Ishii drops Sabre, and Umino hits actually a really nice looking flipping senton. A little bit later into the match, Sabre's in with Ishii. He gets the snapmare into the lack of neck snap. I literally call it that because there's a lack of neck in that neck snap. He goes to working the submissions. Umino breaks it up. Teats in with a senton atomico to Ishii for 2, then hits a suplex for 2. Again, the back and forth with Teats and freaking Ishii in this match was phenomenal. That made this match for me.
Yeah.
Teats hits a buckle later in the match, a buckle bomb, a spine buster, and a Death Valley driver to Umino, but Ishii breaks up the pin. A little bit later, Teats is double teamed, and Umino hits his beautiful release exploder. Look great, and then
So
into
good.
and then Ishii falls to the sliding lariat, and then Teats gets up into an ignition of Umino, and Sabre has to make the save. Ishii takes out Sabre, and Umino hits a Blaze Blade, but Sabre stops the Death Rider. They go back and forth. Umino hits a Death Rider to Sabre. Umino hits a Tornado DDT, but Teats fights him off. They fight off the Ishii with a huge lariat. Big lariat by Teats to Umino, but he is reversed on the verdict, which is the F5, into the Death Rider, and Umino scores the win. Again, good match, and I understand why Umino won because he is the challenger for Sabre. They're building him up, and this kind of gets him a win over one of Sabre's teammates, saying, haha, I can best your guys.
Haha, I got a win over the MLW World Heavyweight Champion.
No, MLW
Now formally.
National Openweight Champion, which she would lose the following day, I think. Yeah.
Not a good weekend for TMDK, man.
No.
The hell?
No.
What the hell did you guys piss off?
I have no idea.
I was like, what happened? Who did you enrage? Because yeah, this crowd was on frackin' fire for Tito. They were because the match started with Shota and Zack Sabre Jr. And the crowd, after their first little interaction, we want Tito, we want Tito, we want Tito. Like the crowd was lit for him. Did you hear when they fed him the loss? The boos that echoed throughout there was not good. You want to be building this guy up, but you don't want to be building him up at the expense of his credibility with the crowd. The crowd was not happy about this win. And I
No.
am with the crowd. I was not happy about this either. To be honest, I like when I saw this come out, I was like, well, shit. I love seeing Ishii, but I guess he's taking the loss in this because it would make sense because Teets is a champion and Ishii's not. Find out later why that was a thing. But if I'm being honest, I love Ishii. But man, you guys got to stop using him as filler fodder. And that's what he is filler fodder. He's that guy that you put in the top spots, those championship matches, because you know he's going to go hard, just like TMDK, Mikey Nicholls, and Shane Haste. You put them there because you know it's going to pay off. But god damn it, do you not have enough people on roster that you can't find somebody else besides Ishii? That being said, though, I have noticed that Ishii has been working a lot in North America. He's been on AEW. I feel like he's been on ROH as well. It makes sense if they're making a North American push. Ishii at his age is still going hard and going healthy. So it makes sense to me that you would keep him in a prime position as well. That being said, though, this isn't his territory yet. This was Teeth's territory. And the loss was no bueno. And then fed in to the next night. That's two major losses now for Tito on one big weekend that should have been a great one for him. Not liking that.
Yeah. After the match, Moxley played a video disappointing Uno on January 5th. He's sending an emissary to mold him into a champion. So he doesn't even think that Umino can beat Sabre, is what it sounds like, which is not going to happen. Umino accepts the challenge, and I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, he had some choice words for Mox too. I think he was like it was adorable because like you know when like someone who doesn't typically swear swears and you're like, "Oh my God, that is the sweetest thing you've ever seen." That's what I felt when Umino said, "Fuck you, Moxley." I was like, yeah.
I just went, oh, great. Now he's going to program with Moxley. Great.
No. Well, I just started laughing uncontrollably because it was adorable. Because it was like listening to a toddler just walking around saying, "Fuck, fuck."
Sure.
It was
Sure.
I know I'm not a fan of kids either, my guy, but it's adorable when they're doing the things that they're not supposed to do and they're not yours.
But
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Shota Umino. That's where the
Yeah, I
problem
know,
is.
but what I'm saying is he's a child and he's not ready for this. He's not ready for Zack Sabre Jr. and he's not ready for Moxley either. He's got
Yeah.
a lot of development he needs to do, and not even just in ring. Well, in ring he does too, because he has taken a lot of moves from his mentor, and I don't feel that we have seen who Shota Umino truly is. He's starting to get away from it, but he needs to move quicker. Like he can't be like shuffling his feet away from this caricature that he's made. He needs to be in a full-on sprint because he only has now a month and a half to make people like us believe that he deserves to be in the position that he's in.
Dude, I'm super excited for Wrestle Kingdom. Super excited for Sabre to defend the title in the main event. I just don't. And there's no way Umino gets me to be excited about him before January 1st. There's not a fucking way. I'm sorry.
There you go,
I
Shota.
just don't
Challenge
care.
for you, Mr. Umino.
I just don't
happened.
give two shits about Shota Umino. We move on. AEW International Championship match. Konosuke Takeshita, Mel's favorite, versus Venom TJP or Anti Venom TJP.
I called it Ghosty TJP because he was very white.
Yeah, but I thought to me as a comic book fan, it looked like Anti Venom, who's is white with a bit of black on him. That's what it looked like to me. It was Anti Venom.
It was probably just an actual representation of the asshole.
Maybe.
It probably had nothing to do with anything that we're hoping it had to do with. It just was his thing.
Oh, yeah. So they go in hard. TJP at one point gets an octopus in the ropes. Takeshita stops a sunset flip, lifting him, tossing him into the ropes. TJ does fight back. Gets the Muda leg lock, then into the bow and arrow. Takeshita fights out and scores a pop-up powerbomb for 2. Again, the transitions you see were doing was perfection. TJP reversing a head scissors, reversing a move into a head scissors. And then they're doing these transitions. Takeshita gets him into a standing gory special. Looks just stretching him, like just
Yeah.
and then just goes, huh, and just lets TJP just flop to the mat.
Yep.
So
Like, just, oh, the strength is insane.
yeah, the run at one point the running knee does get avoided. Takeshita hits a kick and the German, but TJ comes back with a tornado DDT and both men are down. The trading strike to center as 10 minutes is called. TJP hit with kicks, but Takeshita pulls him in for a blue thunder bomb for 2. The end of this match comes. The running knee is reversed into a lariat, but TJP avoids the raging fire. But Takeshita reverses the octopus into a like Peach Thunder, like the Momo Watanabe Peach Thunder.
Yeah,
Uh,
it looked like it, yeah.
and but he goes for then the German to follow it up, but it gets put into TJP gets a victory roll for 2. They trade big attacks. Takeshita avoids the trainer DDT. It's a huge elbow dropping TJP. He goes up to the second rope, pulls TJ up, lifts him up, super raging fire, and he gets the win. This was phenomenal.
Oh my god. The last 2 matches of this show just absolutely enraptured me. Like, I was just like, "This is why I watch wrestling." The psychology of these 2 men, the experience that they have. Okay, first of all, what you didn't mention at the beginning, TJP didn't actually do a legitimate entrance that he usually does. The lights went out, Takeshita's waiting in the ring, TJP behind him, starting off with the mist. I absolutely loved it, blinding Takeshita and taking the fight to him as quickly as possible because you need to. It's the alpha. We have like I at first I was like, he's a good-looking guy. He's a really good wrestler, but is he as dominant and alpha as he says he is? And his AEW showing, they were impressive, but it took the G1 to really turn me on to Takeshita's wrestling. And then winning this title of Ricochet and Will Ospreay. That match was insane. But then the experience of TJP, the unique styling that he has, and then again, this body paint. We haven't seen a lot of body paint. Now we get it twice in one night and 2 different colors because I felt like TJP's was more white than Lio Rush's black. So it kind of created this like ghostly figure that was just kind of almost like a spirit running around the ring, kind of facing Takeshita. And what I also loved about this is how TJP infuriated Takeshita throughout the match. Takeshita is really good about building on his frustration and his emotions. And like I said earlier, you either end up capitalizing on it with a dominant win, or it ends up making you look like a doofy. Konosuke Takeshita did not look like a doofy at the end of this match. Holy hecking crap. These guys flowed so effortlessly together. The reversals, just it felt like they were almost in a perpetual state of chain wrestling for the last few minutes of this match. It was incredible how they just flowed. It was like water. It was very impressive. There was one point where TJP went to do that Penta-esque kind of arm breaker thingamajigabadoo, and Takeshita was like, nope, and just yeet, went TJP. The strength, physical strength of Takeshita is just utterly insane. But it was so impressive to see how TJP was able to stay out of his grasp with that speed and just that experience in the ring, that he was able to walk out of the ring afterwards. Because we've seen people get really banged the hell up by Takeshita and have a lot of problems getting out of the ring on their own accord. TJP was able to stay out of his grasp and avoid getting a lot of those power moves, and instead, Takeshita ending up with that kind of Katie Kaboom ending there with that. Oh, so good. I loved this match. This is such a combination of unique skills that was just give it to me more in every show.
Yes, Takeshita post-match calls himself the greatest international champion. He will defend at the Tokyo Dome. Who's next? He calls them all cowards. Takagi does eventually shows up. And according to the match graphic, the Wrestle Kingdom match is for the Never Openweight Championship. So yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually defending this title at Wrestle
It doesn't
Kingdom.
sound like it.
Yeah, and then out rolls another person. Tomohiro Ishii walks out onto the stage and then just looks at them both and just walks to the back. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm looking it up. If Takeshita is the international champion on January 4th, which there's still 2 pay-per-views left for AEW in the year, the title will go on the line. Otherwise, it's just a never openweight championship. It's a potential double championship match as long as Takeshita still has the title by then. So, yeah.
No.
Yes. Shingo Takagi will be international champion.
You know they're not going to let a New Japan person carry an AEW belt. That's just not Tony's vibe. Tony gets all the belts, Andre. New Japan gets no belts.
But the following day at Dynasty, it's just for the right now. It's for the Never Openweight Championship. Is Tomohiro Ishii challenging the winner of that match for the Never title? So maybe Takeshita wins on night 1 and he drops to Ishii on night 2. I would love to see Ishii back in that title picture. Yeah, I'm down.
And then we're going to make the Never Openweight title, which has struggled for credibility over, of all titles, the KOPW title, held by the Great Khan. You're going to have it struggle further by becoming the next hot potato title in New Japan? No. No.
Yep.
That is not acceptable. And if that happens, I'm going to be very disappointed in this organization. Because how dare you? I know you won't because you don't give a shit. But like, I care about the credibility of these titles. I care about how you guys are building up the titles in the meantime, only to have freaking egos of people who aren't even facing, like aren't even fighting, having to have them put titles on the line for money. I get that it's a business, but seriously, guys, stop marking out on yourselves and just putting titles on people for the sake of putting titles on people. This shit needs to start making sense. Make it make sense. Don't hot potato a high-tiered title like that. You hot potato the KOPW title. That is your hot potato title. The Never Openweight title, how are we supposed to take it seriously?
I'm not sure. Mel's fired up about this.
Well, yeah, because freaking, I know that I have been calling for years. You can tell, you know this. For 2 years, we've been talking about this, nearly 3. We need to have companies working together. But when I said working together, I didn't mean kidnapping each other's titles and holding them ransom at the most random times of the year. I didn't mean building up stories, only having to let them fall through the cracks because y'all are too fucking lazy to actually keep up with the consistency. We need this camaraderie between AEW and New Japan and Stardom and CMLL and whoever else they got in their little conglomeration of bullshit. But we can't have AEW going, well, because I'm the primary money giver, we're going to put all the titles on my guys because they're going to be the only credible people in 4 fucking companies. No. Your job as owners is to ensure that each individual company has their own divisions to stand upon. What does New Japan have to stand upon right now for their tag division? Hell, what does AEW have to stand upon in its tag division? Bucks? Yay. No, we need cohesion. We can't just be giving all the belts to Tony so that we get publicity. Like, I love seeing Takeshita rewarded for this title. And he put on a hell of a freaking year, not even just a match for this title, year to earn the privilege of holding this title. But do I think he needs another open weight title just to stroke Tony Khan's ego or Don Callis's ego? No. Does he need to come over to Japan and show that how dominant he is? Absolutely. But does he need another title belt to show that he's dominant here? No, he doesn't. He just needs to show the fuck up. The G1, he didn't need his title. Or he didn't even have the title in the G1. He just came here and wrecked shit. That's all he needs to do. You have the talent, Tony. Let them be talented. That is my TED Talk.
Takeshita wins on January 4th. Ishii wins on January 5th.
Fuck off.
Main event time. It is for the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship match. Gabe Kidd versus Kosei Fujita. Holy crap, did these two beat the shit out of each other? Gabe Kidd stops a moonsault early on off the apron, brain pushes him on the floor. He just hits him with cracking shots, tosses him over the barricade onto the announce table that Veda and Walker had to vacate so they didn't get hit.
I mean, yeah, Don Callis, that shit. Run for the hills.
He gets the mic. He's talking shit to the crowd, talking about talking about their moms. Demands a count out. Fujita gets in at Mel's favorite number 19.
Jesus.
Kid gets
You
the
know
mic.
what, though? This match, my end of the year almost changed. And if I still haven't decided if it has yet or not because of Gabe Kidd. This match, the banter with the crowd, the everything he did to Fujita. Just keep going. Keep going. I'll talk about it after.
Yeah, Fujita later in the match fights back at one point, gets dropped with a hard elbow. He continues to fight back to trade strikes to center, super fast, back and forth, bang, 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 just amazing. A little bit later, Kidd hits hard slaps to the back, fires Fujita up. He drops Kidd with strikes, unload him in the corner. He's shoving off the ref. Fujita hits a German, then a bridging German for 2. Keeps a hand lock and scores a deadlift German for 2. More trading slaps, and they're just smacking the crap out of each other. Kidd stops an abandoned hope into a brainbuster, but Fujita reverses another brainbuster into abandoned hope. They're both down. The end of this match comes. Fujita puts Kidd up top, but Kidd fights off the German. Kidd misses a moonsault. Fujita with the running leg lariat, but Kidd stops the move. I can't remember. Don't know what move he's going for, but he turns it. Whatever it was, turns it into a powerbomb for 2. Hits a running knee for 2. Hits a pile driver. Fujita kicks out at 2.999999998, and Kidd hits another pile driver for 2. Then he follows up with a Madman bomb for the win. This match was insanity, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And it had everything to do with the fact that Kidd doesn't know when to stop. And Fujita also doesn't know when to stop. It was like, what's that phrase? Tornado meets a volcano? It was utterly insane how crazy these two guys were going. And we've seen Fujita go. It's crazy to know that, like, in all of this, like we saw through Super Junior and Super Junior Tag League, he has this education about him, training with Zack Sabre Jr., training with Robbie Eagles. He has this very interesting high-speed power technical background. And then you have Gabe Kidd, the monster madman himself, who, did you notice, got bigger? He is thicker. That man has put on a lot of muscle. And then he got some new ink. You got to be terrified of a man who has a demon on his knee, and then one of his moves is kneeing you in the face with said demon. It's like you feel like you're meeting your maker or something. It's got to be terrifying. But Kidd beaconed to the crowd, giving Fujita that little, because he needed a rest at that point in time. Kidd just beaconed at the crowd really got them fired up, but you notice they never turned on him. Kidd is a favorite out there. He's making quite a name for himself. And he might be one of the most unhinged, wild, unpredictable, one of the more dangerous people in professional wrestling today. But man, is he popular. Man, is he popular. And so is David Finlay. These war dogs are insanely popular in the US. Again, looping back to what I'd said in the first couple of matches, we love our masochism here, I think. We like that punishment. We like the idea of just bare knuckle brawls. And I feel like Gabe Kidd in professional wrestling is the closest thing that you're gonna have to a bare knuckle fight when you're in the ring with him. And I kind of live for it. Because that he has that in his back pocket where he's just going to pull out a fist and throw it. But look what he did to Lio Rush's face the last time that happened. Busted him wide open with just his fist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many people can, like, who aren't fighters, like, aren't legit fighters? Who could say that? That I just popped somebody in the face and I busted them open. Exactly. I loved this match. It was the perfect wrestling match for me in that it had enough technicality, enough power, enough banter, enough of a story of aggravation that these two have been working on. I loved it. It was just that perfect je ne sais quoi to top off the end of the night. And then there was more.
Yeah. So post-match, Kidd's going for a pile driver, but Oiwa comes in to attack him. Kenta comes out to attack Oiwa. Oiwa eventually fights them off and hits the grip on Gabe Kidd. Oiwa then challenges Gabe Kidd for Strong Style Evolved on the 15th of December for the Strong Openweight Championship.
Ballsy Mama Jamma challenging for 2 titles. But I'm here for it.
He could be a double.
I'm excited to see it.
He could be a double champion coming out of Wrestle Kingdom.
You're funny. I love Oiwa. I will be annoyed if he gets a singles title before Tsuji, before Yomura, even though Yomura is out, before even Shota. I will be annoyed.
Yomura has had a singles title.
Oh, right. He had to lose. Yeah, he did. Okay, so, well, we'll take Yomura out. If he wins if Oiwa wins a singles title before Tsuji, before Shota, it's not going to be okay for me.
Well,
because those guys have been.
Yeah, I was going to say, technically he will when he wins TV title, but Tsuji will win one a couple hours later. So.
No, he's not winning that title. That's Cobb's title. It's coming back to the United Empire because the United Empire needs something more credible. So, we can disagree on this all night, my guy. Oiwa does not deserve a title within his first year. Period.
Let's not keep disagreeing. Let's just quickly run down the. I'm going to quickly just give you the matches for Strong Style Vault that has been announced. Strong Survivor match: Vandagriff versus J. We already knew that. Mina Shirakawa returning to the Strong brand to face New Japan Academy graduate Johnny Robbie. Then we got Hichisero versus Lio Rush. That'll be phenomenal. Lucha versus Bouncy.
That'll be an interesting. Well, because technically, I would say Lio Rush is technically a lucha, but the difference in size. I mean, that's always a thing for Lio Rush because most people are bigger than him. Relatable. I'm 5'3", 0 survival skills. Lio actually has all the survival skills though, but it's going to still be interesting because we know how big Hechicero is. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
We get a 4-way match, a preview for the junior tag title match at Wrestle Kingdom. TJP versus Clark Connors versus Kushida versus Kosei Fujita.
It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a very interesting one, actually, because you got the two hungry young ones in Clark and Kosei, and then you have the educated veterans in Kushida and TJP. You already know what I think is going to happen. I posted it on my social.
Yeah, Kosei Fujita's going to win.
No.
Well, TJP gets the win. It means he's not winning Wrestle Kingdom. Tag team match: Jack Perry and Konosuke Takeshita versus Lasagaba Numbers Japon, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji. I think that's going to be a really fun match, setting up both their January 4th and 5th matches, respectively. NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Title match: Grizzled Young Veterans versus James Drake, Zack Gibson versus the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jorel, Nelson, and Royce Isaac. That's going to be a banger.
It is. I am concerned. I did. I picked with my heart on that one. I didn't pick with my brain. They're probably not going to hot potato that title. But I feel that both Royce Isaac and Jorel Nelson have been here since the inception of New Japan's strong brand. I think it's about fracking time they start rewarding the people who have actually been here, as opposed to the ones who decided to go elsewhere and it just didn't work out. So, yeah. Do I think that they're actually going to win? Probably not, but I want them to.
And by the way, Kenta didn't leave New Japan. He left Noah for WWE, and then when he came back to Japan, he went to New Japan. So he never for New Japan before that, or not regularly, anyways.
Well, whose daughter did he F up? Because what the fuck? There's no reason to punish the man in the way that he is.
Nice, Kenta. He just has a very punishable
fucking Hideo.
New Japan Strong Openweight Championship match: Gabe Kidd versus Ryohei Oiwa. TMDK versus War Dogs. As much as I was joking, I was just saying earlier, yeah, Gabe Kidd's retaining this title. There's no way he's losing this year.
No.
Yeah.
No, it would be stupid too, because look at the credibility that he has put behind that belt. He broke Eddie Kingston's leg defending that belt.
Or winning that belt.
Yeah, winning that belt. There you go. Still, that's what he's willing to do. Like, and look what he did to Hanare in that big brawl that they had with United Empire. Like, Gabe Kidd, very dangerous man. And he's added a lot of credibility to the strong brand and to the title. I think having him drop it, when he does drop it, it needs to be someone on his level. And I don't see anyone on that level, on a face level quite yet. There's some people working up to it, though. There's some who I could see potentially getting a win over him in the spring with a lot of work. But yeah, I don't see him dropping that title anytime soon. It's just better on him.
Yeah. And then your main event, New Japan Strong Women's Championship match. It's the CEO Mercedes Moné versus Hazuki. Let's go. New champ. Let's go. No. I'm not that,
My heart says Hazuki all the way. I would love to see Hazuki have a singles title. I feel she's done a lot of work. She's been dealing with a lot of frustration. She deserves a title. But it's just smarter marketing to have that belt on Mercedes right now. And she has a couple she has a good story going on. She's had a couple strings of stories consistently since getting to AEW. I think we should leave it on her for a little while longer just to gain some more credibility for that title in particular.
I agree. But we have come to the end of another episode of NJPW Puroresu Review. You can find me. You can find me on the X at That Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and I think Blue Sky or
Blue Sky?
Is that That
Canada
Guy? Wait, hold on. I don't know if I'm at That Canada Guy yet. Great audio and video of me looking up my blue sky. Oh, Mel, I love you. I am at that Canada guy on Blue Sky. So look me up over there. So I'm gonna start using it. You can also find me on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, and our Facebook page at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. You can also find us over at A Plus Productions in audio form. Check us out over there. The A Plus Wrestling feed, sports feed, and their entertainment feed. Go check it out. And you can also join the Facebook page for hanging out and chatting with some cool ass people. I also want to give a shout out to twitch.tv/OurLocalEstablishment. And youtube.com/@OurLocalEstablishment, where I will be this Wednesday. I guess this comes out Wednesday morning. I'll be there Wednesday. Marvel Talk has the MCU Rebound returning. We're talking Marvel Civil War, which I am in the middle of watching right now, which I'll be continuing to watch as soon as I'm done here. So yeah, check that out over there. 8 p.m. Eastern-ish. Essentially, when Dynamite's done tomorrow night, we're going live. Because Ed watches Dynamite, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to be watching it, but Ed says that post Dynamite. So I don't know. Yeah, so check us out over there. One more shout out to Mike the Ref over at youtube.com/backbreaker video. Simulcast all of our stuff. Go to his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. What was the face?
I just hit my fingers and I'm trying not to.
Okay. I thought you were like making fun of Mike. I'm like, whoa. That's not cool. You were like you were puffing your face up. I'm like, oh, that's so mean.
Because it hurt really bad and I didn't want to yell in the microphone and I couldn't mute it.
All right. Yeah, go to twitch.tv/Mike the Ref for all his great gaming content. Usually he throws a raid to us after his AEW stream is over. When we're talking Marvel, he'll throw us a raid when he's done with that because I know he plays, but he's been playing GM mode afterwards after his AEW stream on Wednesday. So check that out. And he gets the other replays of his gaming content, youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow Melball, you can find her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can find her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me on our local establishment programming, Japanese Wrestling Update, with this guy every Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Unless it's not. I will let you know on social media if it's not. This Friday is going to be a live episode. Yeah. This episode will be a live episode on Friday because there is no professional wrestling happening in the city that we are aware of and that we want to go to this weekend. So we will be, again, live 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Stay tuned to our socials to get the links for that. What else? Oh, you can also find me on November 18th, where we start our new show with Auntie Collins, no relation, and Astrid Pizarro, The Natural, where we are releasing our show, Women's Classic Wrestling, where we will be watching some of the Mae Young Classic and talking about those matches. You okay over there?
I'm doing the WCW for you.
I love it. Love it. So yeah, we are going to be watching some of the Mae Young Classic there, the first Mae Young Classic, and talking about some of the matches on there. So stay tuned to our socials when that is coming out. If you're wanting to watch you can also catch me on Ashley Bizarre's YouTube channel where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. Girl's been busy adjusting to her promotion. So once we figure all of that out, we will be putting out a new episode for you. So stay tuned to our socials to see when that is coming out. If you are wanting to watch New Japan Wrestling, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is njpwworld.com. It is, I can't remember the yen, but it is approximately $14.50 Canadian.
Okay, how about we start saying it's $10 American per month? So you can
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, 10 American. Shout out Sean Spears, which is a Sean Spears and a half, technically for us, which works out. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Still a great price to watch some amazing professional wrestling. If you want to take a gander at some matches before taking the plunge on a membership, you can watch all of the New Japan World TV titles matches on that website, where you can see Zack Sabre Jr.'s defense. You can see Jeff Cobb's defense. You might see Matt Riddle in there. We don't really care, but he's there. So yeah, go ahead and check all those out for absolutely free before taking the plunge and getting the membership. You definitely want to get that membership because that will allow you to watch historic crossover
If you want to pay an extra $35
in English. In English. So yes, you definitely want to watch that because it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
Oh yeah, I gotta click that away. Just want to say thank y'all for joining us here, whether you're on A Plus Productions, go over there, check us out in audio form, aplusproductions.com, check out the Facebook page and join us there to get all the great chatter over there. And also want to thank y'all for, if you're tuning in on YouTube, whether it's Backburger Video or Andre Melball, thank you so very, very much for joining us here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Don't forget to share us out to your friends, family, and people that own red water bottles. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video. That's pink.
Ding dong. I mean, technically pink is diluted red. So
Still pink.
It's diluted red.
Still pink.
It's diluted red. That's why it's marble.
It's pink.
That being said, it's red. It's a red affiliate.
Pink.
It's red affiliate. That being said, I am your Melball.
Pink.
Over there is an Andre who only showed me Sean Spears today.
Yes.
We will see you next time. Adios.